Archery is becoming increasingly popular these days. Whether it's on the range or in the backyard, archery is more accessible than ever. In the past, budding archers may have started out by purchasing a bow, teaching themselves, or reading books on how to shoot. Today, with the vast amount of resources available online, more and more people are taking the first steps in archery by themselves.
We always recommend that people try archery at a club first. However, this isn't an option for many people. Consequently, many beginners will end up learning archery by themselves, using books and videos or even their own intuition. The problem with the independent approach is that there's no real way to tell if you're doing it wrong. Many people become fixated on hitting the target and don't pay much attention to what they're doing. This can lead to bad habits and form problems that will lead to poor shooting and possibly injury. Even if you're shooting fairly well, it can be frustrating if you can't figure out why you're not grouping. As with many sports, video analysis is used by archery athletes to observe technique and provide feedback. Many archers like to film themselves, and they either go through the footage by themselves or talk to their coach. Professional athletes often have access to high-performance training facilities that have multiple high-speed cameras for frame-by-frame analysis, using the latest in sports science technology. I'm going to assume that you don't have access to this. Fortunately, we now have more access to more tools that can not only capture footage, but post it online. Archers are beginning to make a habit out of filming themselves as a video log of their form. Sometimes it's to specifically look at a form problem. Other times it's a record of progression. Many archers who are starting out are now filming themselves and actively seeking feedback on online archery forums. This can be an effective learning tool, and for some it is the only tool they have access to. I'll be doing 2 videos on the topic of form checks. This video will look at how to film a good form check video and how to make the most out of it. In the following video, I'll look at form checks from a coaching perspective to show you what to look for in the footage. First, let's go through a few things that you should avoid or would otherwise be of minimal value for a form check. This first example is not common for a form check, but some people post these wanting to get some kind of feedback. Yeah, it's a photo of a target. Even if you film it, target cam is really not relevant at all. It's true that your arrows do tell a story about what you're doing, but without seeing you shoot, we cannot give feedback on your form. There can be hundreds of things happening, and target cam shows none of that. If you're doing a form check, pay no attention to the target. This is actually true for training in general. When you're learning form, it doesn't really matter where your arrows land. Learn to ignore those arrows, and accuracy will come with time and practice. Speaking of photos, this one also makes a poor form check. Still photos look epic, but that's also the problem. While it is possible to analyze photos, most of the time people actually look fine. It's very difficult to pick out details without seeing the full shot sequence. What I end up doing when I get requests to analyze photos is to zoom in, zoom out, pan around, get really close, and to see if you're using your back muscles, to see your elbow lines and so on. It's really tough because the majority of faults can only be spotted when watching someone shoot. We have to see the whole shot process to give you meaningful feedback. A still photo is only a single point in time, and while we can pick out certain faults, it's only one frame in a shot sequence. So most people look okay in this particular point, but that kind of hides a lot of the major problems that someone can point out. On that note, the third thing I strongly urge you to do is to film yourself shooting multiple arrows. An archer will typically shoot 3 or 6 arrows in an end, but many archers will simply shoot however many arrows are in their quiver until they're done. For some reason, many archers that film themselves only do one shot. This may seem like enough for a form analysis, but understand that shots happen very quickly. It's literally blink and you miss it. What I have to do is to replay those 5 seconds of footage over and over and over and over again. And it's really obnoxious to continually watch the same 5-second shot sequence to get some kind of meaningful data. The other problem with single shot videos is that it's really not enough to assess whether there are problems in your normal shooting pattern or whether it's just this one shot. When people are providing feedback, they're looking for patterns. It's what you do across many shots. This one shot may be really good, but your other shots may not be. And again, try to avoid presenting your best shots. We're not really interested in seeing your good shots. We're interested in seeing where you can improve. So don't really show off your good shots. If you have good shots, that's great. But try to include all of your shots, not just your best ones. If you do film yourself shooting several arrows, we do expect a long video. And it's okay. We expect a 5-minute video, not a 5-second video. In regards to what to use for filming, assuming you don't have access to state-of-the-art training facilities, I recommend you use a camera and tripod. This gives you a stable platform and you can let the camera run while doing your normal shooting practice. This allows you to record yourself without requiring a second person to hold the camera for you. If you don't have a camera or tripod, you can use your smartphone. Most phones today capture video in fairly high quality. In fact, you can get apps which allow you to capture your action and allow for frame-by-frame analysis. Some apps I recommend including SkillsCam, that's SKLZ, or Coach's Eye. Otherwise, use your normal camera app to film. Do try to rotate your camera so you can capture your film sideways. If you hold your phone vertically and film, and you transfer it to computer, while it looks okay on your mobile screen, when you convert it to a computer file, it adds huge black bars on either side, making it very narrow focus and actually making it more difficult to do a form check. The mantra I use for form check videos is multiple shots, multiple angles. The more information you can record, the more meaningful the feedback will be. Let's take a look at some sample form check footage to see how it should turn out.
This first angle is a regular side-on angle, capturing the whole front body and including the feet. If you only get the chance to film one angle, this one is the most helpful. This shows us the entire shot process and most of the meaningful focal points: stance, balance, bow grip, drawing hand, shoulder and arm alignment, anchor point and release, to name a few. This angle can be used to identify most form faults. You can focus on the upper body as well. This allows you to get a better view of some of the finer motions, such as the exact placement of your anchor and your head positioning. The 3/4 angle is also a very good angle to work with. This is popular for televised events as it captures the archer in the ideal action pose, and it gives us a chance to see the motions come together in the shot sequence. From this angle, you can really notice head position and string alignment, and you can pick up finer details such as expansion and clicker usage. Positioning the camera behind the shooting line allows us to see the shoulder alignment and straightness of the back. Many archers arch their backs or lean, and this angle can identify those faults immediately. We can also see elbow rotation and how much the bow is canted. Note that I'm shooting at a blank target. This is useful as it provides no distraction and the archer can focus on process without worrying about scoring. Showing the back angle is also very valuable. From this position, we can more easily pick out if the archer is leaning forward or backwards, if their shoulder is popping up, and the control they have over the clicker. Most importantly, we can see the use of back tension throughout the shot. Then there are specific focus points that you can include, which can be decided by you or your coach. In this example, I'm using a close-up of my head. This allows me to carefully analyze my anchor consistency, string alignment, and my head movement. In this shot, I'm focusing on my clicker. I'm watching to see how much control I have, how consistent I am in positioning the tip of the arrow, and how long it takes to get through, and whether the arrow moves forward during the process. You can focus on other things such as bow hand, release, arm movement before and after the shot, and so on, depending on what you feel needs improvement.
One more if you can. Good. Good. That's what I want to see. That was a good one.
Like I said, try to get multiple shots from multiple angles. This gives us a complete view of how you are shooting, and feedback can be targeted at specific things that you may have missed. Do note that there is a point where too much can be a problem. If you're a professional athlete, you may have to do shot analysis for every single shot you do during a training session. But if you're just a casual amateur, we can usually identify your habits and problems after 6 or 12 arrows. Even if you film yourself shooting 50 arrows in half an hour, I'm probably not going to watch the whole thing. I'd rather replay 5 minutes of good footage to understand your shot process in detail rather than sit through 30 minutes while taking notes. Be reasonable in what you expect if you're asking others to spend time watching your form. Since we're talking about that, let's go through what you should do with your footage. If you're familiar with video editing, you may want to piece your footage together to make one video. This isn't a requirement, however. It's quite normal to have separate videos for each sequence or angle, and it can be helpful in separating different foci. If you're editing, you may be tempted to cut out all the bits between each shot. This is fine too. However, do try to keep your entire shot process in the video, including nocking the arrow, drawing the bow, your follow through, and so on. All these steps are part of the process, and we can identify faults in these elements even if you think they're not very important. If you're not sure, don't touch the video and leave the raw footage as it is. I also want to draw the line between a form check video and a demonstration video. Some people like to make their video more entertaining. They use different angles, like ones which show off their bow, ones that show off their shooting action, they show off their targets and where the arrows are hitting, and some people like to add really loud heavy metal music. If you want to make entertaining videos, that's fine, that's your business. Do note, however, that these kinds of videos don't really make for good form check videos. The first reason is that we can't really tell if you're shooting seriously, so we're more reluctant to give you detailed feedback. Secondly, the angles in editing can make it distracting and difficult to analyze. Understand that a form check video is not going to be a particularly interesting video to watch. It's a study of your form. Don't use your showcase videos for form analysis and vice versa. Once you have your footage, what do you do with it? If you're working with a coach, you can sit down and put on a laptop or a tablet and watch through it with your coach and get feedback. If you're working by yourself, you can post it online on sites like YouTube and ask people for feedback. You can go through archery forums, and some popular ones include Archery Talk, Archery Forum, and Reddit. And there are plenty of archers with a variety of different shooting experiences or even coaching experience. They can provide you with meaningful feedback. Sometimes you get less knowledgeable people posting vague feedback or commentary which is not as meaningful. But this is usually balanced out by more experienced shooters offering more comprehensive constructive feedback. Be reasonable with your expectation, but also be specific. As a general rule, most analysis will cover a general approach, as it can take like an hour to watch and annotate and analyze the entire shot process, which is very extensive. It's a very big time commitment, we won't do it unless you specifically ask for it. Do note that simply publishing a video on YouTube does not make people gravitate towards your video. Some people post up videos thinking it's online, it's in the public now, so people will watch me and give me feedback. You've got to understand that you have no audience. People aren't going to look up random archery videos to give you feedback. Sometimes I'm bored enough to trawl through archery search results to see people practicing archery, but unless you specifically ask people to give you feedback, then no one's going to watch it. I don't mean, here's my video, give me feedback. I mean actually taking your video, taking the link and posting it on archery forums, posting it on Reddit, and actually asking people, hi, do you mind giving me a critique on my form? Because people won't critique unless you ask for it. Anyway, this ends this video. In the next video, I'll be going through what people look for when watching form check videos and common form faults to look out for. This is NUSensei. Hope you found this helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.